Obviously pleased with the outcome. It's always nice to get your first win of the year. It's two games in the first, 48 hours of the college basketball season, and we've already been to Arkansas, back, played a home and a road game, and it doesn't get any easier. I think it's 5 games in 11 days to start the season. We went really, really light with practice yesterday, so I was pleased with the energy that we started the game with. The fact that we share the ball and guys move the ball around, that's been consistent all the way through exhibition. Arkansas here, with a few hiccups here and there, but where we need to get better is on the defensive end. We've made a huge emphasis over the last week. Didn't fix some things to win the Arkansas game, even though we were in a great position down the stretch and came out today. And I think positionally, we took a step forward in terms of protecting the guy who's sitting next to you, playing with the same unselfishness on the defensive end as we do on the offensive end, and I was pleased with that. I'm seeing growth in this group. I think we had a good focus coming out today. This game, obviously, when you're up in the first half, there's a challenge to playing the game the right way. We had a few checks with regards to that, but ultimately I was pleased with how our guys progressed through the game. We got a lot of guys minutes, a lot of guys experience, and I'm excited about watching this team grow. We got a long ways to go. We got a lot of room for growth, but we have a good group who wants to be good, and I believe they're willing to look in the mirror and willing to try and get better every day. And if we have that, we can continue to grow.
Coach, which game's a better game for you? Because against Arkansas, you have to play like your top 7 or 8 guys, significant, obviously, a lot of minutes because it's a close game. Tonight, you get to play all the way down to the end of your bench. Does this team need cohesion to where it's better in the Arkansas game where you're playing your top 8 guys? Or was it good for you to watch some of these younger guys and see what they can do?
I think there's value in both. The challenge of the Arkansas game is its own challenge. There's so many challenges in the Arkansas game that's great. In terms of this, I think there's value in getting guys some minutes. I think there's some guys that it's their first time or two putting on the jersey, and they got to get some kinks out. First time in front of a crowd. And we had some plays out there that were more crowd plays that have nothing to do with how our group plays the game. And so to be able to get that out of the way, and now let's focus on just being a team, there's great value in that, because I don't like all that personal stuff. I like getting that out. Let's worry about the team, and then we can grow from there.
What was your schedule yesterday? You flew back yesterday morning?
We left at, I think I woke up at 6:15, had breakfast at the hotel, then flew back on the first flight of the day. Stayed we were in Chicago for about an hour in O'Hare, then got here about 2:15, 2:30. Let the guys go back to the apartments, take a short nap, eat a little bit, and then came back, had a team meal and a walk through, and then we call it a pro workout to low-minute guys. At the Arkansas game, they got some skill work in, got their heart rate up to be prepared for when it's their opportunity, sitting at the edge of the bench.
Okay. I just wondered was it difficult to get that quick turnaround? Because I know you guys probably are a little bit exhausted right now after the last 72 hours.
Well, the good thing is I don't play, and so my 43-year-old legs, they don't have to do anything anymore. These guys, they're 18 to 22 years old, they're resilient. It's early in the season. Does it play a toll? Yeah, sure, I'm sure it does. But, that's another reason you schedule the game. That's its own challenge. And honestly, coming into today's game, what I was more focused on was where were we up here? Where were we mentally? And, that's where I feel like we took a step forward. And I could tell from the tip, our guys were locked in. That first group came out, and they were locked in, ready to defend. I don't know what the start of the game was, but I like the energy. I like our defensive positioning. And that's been an issue with us. Let's be candid. if you guys watched the Arkansas game, I mean, defensive transition, getting in gaps, defending, I mean, those were some issues, and we got to get better.
What were some of the things you took away from the Arkansas game? Because, I mean, in reality, that was a pretty close game. So what were you able to take away from that to improve on and focus on for today's game against Kenya?
Well, really, it was what we focused on was our mindset. I think there was a lack of focus during large parts of that game. I mean, first time for a lot of guys under bright lights, an SEC opponent, and there were a lot of details that we didn't execute. You know, as simple as it sounds, pointing and talking in transition and getting yourself matched up, or taking your matchups from the coach and then executing it. We had, when I started the game, I felt like we had 24 non-resistant baskets in that game that we gave up. You know, not to mention the free throws, which I don't put any weight on that. I mean, I know this team's going to shoot free throws well. It was just unfortunate. I knew those were missed opportunities, but as you saw tonight, I mean, what did we shoot? 93%. You know, maybe a different level of pressure on you, but like that's not where this group is. We'll be fine there. So really, I mean, from that game, it was just details and just showing our guys. And we watched video yesterday. Our guys recognized just they weren't playing hard enough on the defensive end. They weren't supporting the guy next to him well enough. And, you know, there were details that we've been practicing for months that when faced with adversity, faced with a touch of whether it's mental or physical fatigue, we weren't executing. And, you know, our guys locked into it. Now you got to make it habits. Like, that's the hard part. Recognizing it, saying, yes, coach, I'll do it. Like, that's easy. I mean, film doesn't lie. But then being able to translate that on the floor under adverse situations, like, I think that's difficult. And tonight, it was a little bit. In a crazy way, it was some adverse situations. We were up big in the second half, and we got some guys that maybe they're not excited to be out there with 10 minutes left in the game, 8 minutes left in the game, and you're up big. But those are great minutes, and that takes mental toughness to do the right thing, to play the right way late in that game. And I felt like we had significantly more plays of the right way than the wrong way. So we're moving in the right direction.
Coach, Mo Evans and Bryson Scott led the way, obviously really big on offense today. Is that how it's going to be for you guys to be successful this year, those two getting the majority of the points?
You know, honestly, we never worry about who scores our points. Last year we had 7 different guys score 20 or more in the game. The year before that, 6. The year before that, 7, 19 or more. You know, the guy who ends up with the ball after we get it happy and we move it and ends up with the uncontested open shot in our program, that's who gets it. Some days you may score 8, some days you may score 45. You know, we don't get obsessed with that. We're worried about the team and making the right basketball play. Those two are really good players. I mean, but I could go down the line. I mean, we played 11 really, really good players, and there's not a guy on that group that couldn't lead us in scoring on a given night or drop 25 on a given night. So, you know, how it's going to end up playing out is this team's going to play very, very unselfishly, and they're going to share the ball, and they're not going to be concerned with personal statistics and that stuff. They're going to be concerned with how we play the game, how you support your teammates, and ultimately trying to win every possession and enjoying the process, and the results will take care of itself.
Coach, Mo scored his 1,000th career point tonight. You've been here for all 4 years of his career. Talk about the growth that you've seen from him from an 18-year-old kid to today.
I mean, it's hard to, I mean, we don't have enough time. We got dinner here in a little bit. I mean, he's, you know, I'm not very good at that, Tom.
I know you know.
You know, it's hard to condense with him. I mean, he's had, you know, just tons of coachable moments, and he's grown from them, and he owns up to them, and he takes steps forward with his play. He and I are in a phenomenal place right now, and I felt this way last year, first semester, and he was playing at a high level, and I felt that way for now almost 2 years with his basketball play, is that we see the game very similarly. Doesn't mean that he doesn't make a play or a decision that I don't like at times, but we see the game in a similar way, and you know, he can be a coach on the floor for us, and a guy in the locker room, a guy back at the apartments, a guy at team meal that when, like, before I say it, he knows. And he can share it with the team, and he's got my back, and he's got total buy-in. So, I think he's going to have a phenomenal year. I think he's a guy that has, could care less whether he leads us in scoring, leads us in assists. Like, he's out there to win the game. And I like having that guy with the ball in his hands a lot.
How does all the players view him? Is he a leader?
We all are leaders on our group. I don't define one guy as a leader. Does he have leadership skills? Absolutely. Does he have a ton of ownership in this program because he's gotten he's built it through equity? Absolutely. He's been here. The only guy who's been here longer is Sims, myself, and Brent Calhoun. And if you include Ben Botts' years playing. So, he's poured a lot into it. He's had some great times and he's had some down times. And, he's as proud to be a Macedon as anybody in our program or graduate from our program, bleeds blue. And I love having him on our team, and he's going to have a monster year for us in a number of different ways. But whatever those ways are, they're going to be trying to help us win a game, whatever it might be.
Anything else?
I'm good.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, much better today. Derek asked me one question in our exhibition. Asked me about one player. That was it. I like.
Questions for Mo Evans and Bryson Scott.
I'll start. Bryson, first game in a long time in Fort Wayne. What was it like?
It was very exciting. I had, a lot of excitement coming into the game. I have family here and a lot of friends here, so I just wanted to get those that kind of excitement and jitters out and just play ball.
What's been the hardest part of taking, 18 months off from games and then blending back into a team concept and all of that?
The hardest part is just finding where you fit in at and just trying to make sure, do what I do too. So that's been the hard part, but they accepted me and just excited.
Do you feel you found your role within this team?
Yeah, I feel like I found my role and know my role, and I'm just excited to really get this season on the roll.
What surprised you about the Fort Wayne basketball program? Like that I know they recruited you for several months before you committed and all that, and I know you play with the guys in the summertime, all that kind of stuff. But what's really surprised you about, like, I didn't realize this about it?
The talent level, the competitiveness. Those two things, those are the main things that stick out to me in my mind, and just the togetherness and just everything. This took me by a shock, and I'm glad to be here and ready to go.
Mo, you scored 1,000 career points tonight. Not in one night, but through your career. Talk a little bit about your career, and I know you've got a lot of basketball left here, but as you look back on your journey, what's it been like?
Well, it's been fun. I don't have any regrets. I know it's been kind of a bumpy ride here recently, especially how I ended last season. But it's just all credit to the teammates and my coaches for giving me faith and trusting in me to take and make big shots. And, it's a lot of more points to come. And it's not just about points. It's about, playing together and taking the right shots.
How have you changed as a player from when you were 18 to today?
Obviously it's maturity, just adjusting to the speed, taking care of my body, eating right, and just, trying to be the best player I can be.
Go ahead. You guys had 45 points combined. Is this something that we can expect regularly from you two?
Yeah, this is we got a high-level backcourt. We put a ton of dedication and energy to our craft, and we know how well we can play together. We know what we're capable of, and this is something you can expect night in, night out.
Go ahead.
Was it hard? You get on an airplane, you fly to Arkansas, fly to Chicago, fly to Arkansas, they play a game, wake up 6 o'clock the next morning, fly back, got another game. Has the last 72 hours been hard on you guys?
Yeah, definitely challenging, but it's nothing that any other Division I basketball team isn't facing at around this time of year. So we know that we got to accept the challenge and we got to bow up and take care of business.
Are you doing okay after 7?
Yeah, it's different for me because the travel is kind of different, but I'm used to it. Every team is doing this and used to the travel and playing night in, the next night, and just.
You'll do anything playing a game now.
Yeah, I'll do anything.
After 6 months, you'll play a game every day.
Yeah,
That's what it means.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Did you get more out of playing a game, like a close game against Arkansas, where it's like the top 7 or 8 guys on the team playing a lot of minutes? Tonight, it's 11 or 12 guys going all the way down the bench getting significant minutes. Does the team get more playing a close game, or get more out of playing a close game? Or is it nice to play a game like this where you can see some of those younger guys, Jax Levitch, for example, or whatever,
Yeah,
get minutes?
I mean, to me, the opponent doesn't matter. I mean, we got to come out and respect the game and respect our opponent. It doesn't matter. But I mean, yeah, there's more that comes out with facing adversity. I mean, Arkansas was a good team. It's a hype environment. You know, not many people have the chance to play there, and that's an experience that we're never going to forget.